These pullbacks lead to great opportunities. We're in a rough market right now, but bull markets haven't been outlawed. This is the NASDAQ Comp. We're going to go through, we're going to look at some different time frames, going back in time and showing you. This will all make sense. It will really help you make better investing decisions. Go all the way back. We can start here in 1981. It's a really bad decline here, folks. That's a large decline. Large. The high on this bar is 223. The low on this bar on the NASDAQ Comp, percentage-wise, low is 167, 168. The low on this bar is 159. That is a large magnitude decline. But notice what it led to. It led to a really solid advance. Large declines eventually lead to large advances. That's the whole gist of this. I'll show you another example. I'm going to show you many examples right here. This is a monthly chart, folks. This is a major decline. Formed a higher low setup. That major decline led to a really large advance. Look at this, and this is the crash of 87, which we were there for. We were out before this, though. Okay, we missed this. But again, look at that advance after the decline. Then you get the crash, okay? That all happened in one day, basically. Maneuver around, starts to lift up, goes sideways, and also led to a nice advance on the NASDAQ Comp. Now we're going to go all the way in here. This decline here is really large, folks. I remember this in 1990. I bet you some of you remember this also. 1990, look at that decline. It looks like, when you're going through it, it looks like the end of the world. Do you see this? That's huge. And eventually it settles down and it leads to a great advance. Goes sideways and then it continues. If you were positioned properly and got out and missed this, it leads to this. And people said, well, oh no, you should have stayed in. Be very pragmatic with you. This is very important. We don't know the future. I said this at IBD meetups for years. When we accept the fact we don't know the future, we see the future far more clearly and we act accordingly. Continue onwards, right here, bases and lifts again. Falls here. This is a pretty hard decline, folks. What's the high on this bar? This is a monthly chart. The high is a little over 2,000. The low is down here at 1350, 2,000 to 1350. That is a 30% decline. That's massive, massive. But then look what it leads to. It leads to this. And that is a good run. And then we fall. Lifts a bit, then we fall. You're going, it's the end of the world. And then what do we have here? And it's really simple. You have a higher low setup. We talk about this a lot at Mission Winners. This is a monthly chart. You get the higher low setup and you get a really nice lift. But when it's doing this, we have the discipline to wait. Makes a nice trend. And then you get this. Drops. And people look at this and they say, that's it. I'm done. I'm never buying stocks again. I've had it. If you managed your money properly, you missed this decline. And we did. I did. If I didn't, if I had participated in all these declines, I wouldn't be here. I'm going to be gone. You get this big decline. Looks like the end of the world, doesn't it? Look at that. It's like, that's it. It's over. This game is done. I mean, folks, this thing went from 2860 all the way down to 1300, 1295, 1300. That's lost over half its value. There we go. Continue onwards, and then you get this great lift. We're always prepared. Continue on. This is the great run, right? Everything's beautiful. It's a big run here, isn't it? Here we go. You got a pretty good hiccup right here, folks. That's a pretty substantial drop in 2018. That can rattle your cage, but then it leads to an advance. You get another big decline here, and it leads to a great advance, right? You see this? That's a pretty substantial drop here, folks. This thing hit a high, we'll call it 98 right here. The high is 98.40. The low on this bar a couple of months later is 66.30. That's big. Here you go, right there. That is huge. And it comes back. And so now we get in advance, and here we are right now. You go, boy, this is pretty ugly, Pat. This is now. Look at that decline. But I just showed you probably 15 to 20 examples going over decades where large declines can lead to substantial advances. There's a time to be invested, and there's a time to sit and wait. And these pullbacks, like we're having right now, create opportunity for us. So here we go. This is 1987. Yeah, we had money in here, and we were out and completely missed the crash. This is a massive decline, folks. Take, let's say 27.50 all the way down to 16.50. That's substantial. That's 1,100 points. But you can say, it's the end of the world. It's over. I'm not going to invest anymore. Well, it bottoms, and then it eventually makes a nice, steady advance. As you can see, never argue with it. And then it does this, and it's trending, and everything's great. Everything's great. We're going through, this is monthly chart. You can see just a nice trend. Everything's good in the 90s. Nice base here, and it breaks. This was a lot of fun, by the way. This is a lot of fun. And know this, the markets are rough right now. Bull markets have not been outlawed. The markets will turn, and you will be ready. We will be ready from both a financial perspective, but also a mental perspective. Continue onwards. And the whole gist of this is, on these big pullbacks, what do we do to protect our capital, mental capital and financial capital? So it's doing fine. Everything's great here through the 90s. We got a little hiccup here, right? But not really bad. By the way, again, this is a monthly chart. But if you manage risk here, you are able to participate in the advance. That's the key point of this video. Right here, you get this waterfall decline. Even here, arguing with this, you could participate in the advance and make money. Waterfall decline. This is a massive decline, folks. Right here in 2002, the high on this bar is, we'll call it 10,700. The low on this bar down here is 7,200. That's a huge decline. And people say, it's the end of the world. That's it. It's never coming back. Well, then you get the higher low setup, and then you get another nice advance. Bull markets haven't been outlawed. Remember that. And yes, we invested and managed money through all this. And then you get this, 2008, 2009, and it looks like the end of the world. Folks, it went from basically 14,200 all the way down to a low, we'll call it, we'll make it easy, 6,500. 14,000 down to 6,500. Oh my God, it lost half its money. That's it, it's over. If you managed it properly and you avoided this, you were able to participate in this, right? Rules to get in, rules to get out, rules to sit, rules and tactics combined with discipline. You miss this, and then you were able to catch this. But many people looked at this and said, that's it, the market's never coming back, I'm done. And what do you miss? You miss this. Isn't that nice? And yeah, there's hiccups in there, right? It happens. You manage it accordingly. By the way, folks, this is a weekly chart, all right? I'm just pointing that out to you. I'll take this here so you can see this. We'll go here. Massive decline in 2020. Massive decline. But then look what it leads to. Isn't that great? Big declines lead to big advances. And here's where we are now. This is a pretty big decline here, folks. This is pretty big, thousands of points on the Dow. But I just showed you numerous examples where big declines eventually lead to big advances. At Mission Winners, what are we doing? We manage money on the way down. We avoid the problems.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.